Thank you.
Subscribing.
Card Kaizoku.
This video is brought to you by Adakai TCG. Shop the latest in premium holographic textured custom One Piece cards. Designed for collectors, crafted to stand out. Use code CARDKaizoku for 15% off your next order. This video is sponsored by gumgum.gg. See Western OP11 list and Eastern OP12 list on gumgum.gg. Updated daily. Be the first to see decks for new leaders as they emerge. With over 1,000 deck lists per set, gumgum.gg has all the top strategies as soon as they drop. This video is sponsored by Card Market, Europe's largest online marketplace for trading card games. Alright, in this video we're going to be taking a look at cards that we're going to need to buy to get ready in preparation for OP12 releasing next month, I think like on August 22nd, right near the end of August. Yeah, I just been getting antsy about starting OP12 already. I usually wait until like I'm a month out before starting content for the next set. I think I'm like still like a week or two away, but I'm kind of over OP11. I might just start doing OP12 content starting next week, maybe? I don't know, we'll see how I feel over the weekend, but yeah, the purpose of this video is just to get myself and maybe you guys to familiarize with OP12 decks and what cards we're going to need to buy ahead of time in preparation for it. We're going to be taking a look at every single leader in OP12 and sample deck lists for them all. And then we're going to take a look at some decks that may get buffed from OP12 too and see what we would need to buy to build those decks out. None of the deck lists in this video are going to be mine. This is all from aggregated stats from the sim. From people playing on the East, I do think not as many people queue on East than they do in the Western format, so the sample size is going to be definitely a lot different. And just for recency's sake, we'll just look at last week of Eastern data, just so that like a bunch of weird decks from the beginning of the set aren't going to muck up the data, right? This is all recent meta stuff we're going to be taking a look at. And then the website you're seeing on screen, in case this is the first video of mine that you're watching, this is my website, cardkaizoku.com. You can get the leader rankings here for the Eastern, Western format. I coded everything myself. I scrape all the data myself. I literally everything outside of the sim itself I built from the ground up to accommodate this analysis that I'm going to do in this video. So yeah, I hope you find something cool, interesting here. And without further ado, let's jump right into the first leader. So we're going to take a look at Rayleigh. And then how we're going to look at it is we're just going to click view deck list and see what the top performing deck list is. Usually it's the one that's like the most played by the most amount of people. We see this one's played by 467 people over 2,943 games over the past week. I feel like that's a lot. So we'll use that deck and then we're going to repeat this for every other leader we're going to look at today. So sound good? Let's take a look at Rayleigh. And then that link takes you to my deck builder here. And I also have like a show prices button that'll show you the cheapest version of each card via TCG player of cards that are available on TCG Player. So as we see here, OP12 cards don't have a price because yeah, they're not available to be sold yet. So this gives us a good idea of what to buy to fill out whatever is not from OP12. So it looks like in Rayleigh, to prepare for him, it's going to be about $58.77. And this isn't taking into account shipping and stuff. And this is the market price, so it's not lowest listed. But the shopping cart links on my deck builder will take you to the card page itself for whatever I find as the cheapest version of the card. So let's say like there's some weird promo version of this Nami that's cheaper than the OP01 version of it. Yeah, it'll take you to that page for it. Or if you're lazy, you can just click mass entry and it'll add whatever card is available into your clipboard, and then you just Control V, paste it into the mass entry form, and then you can add the entire deck of cards that are available to your shopping cart on TCG Player for your convenience. So yeah, what do we need from Rayleigh? So OP01 Namis to search. I would even venture to say you might need 4, just in case like you go up 4 to 3. Like I think between the Shakuyaku and the Namis, it could be either way. But yeah, definitely the Shakuyakus would be cheaper. So if you're like caring about like a $1.25, yeah, maybe you don't need the Nami. The buggies are going to be dirt cheap too. Sanjis are dirt cheap. The OP10 Sanjis, on the other hand, are actually not as cheap as I thought. It is an SR. Before these will run you $20, so they're like $5 a pop. 2 Rush Zoros, which can be 3 or 4 depending, so I would err on the side of having a full playset just in case you need it, right? If you want to make changes in the future to change the ratio of Zoros, you'll have it on hand. This Luffy's coming up in the next set, so we won't know the price of it. Kid and Killer, about $7.50 each. $7.70 if I want to do the math correctly. That's close enough. And then the Kong Gatling from OP06 is dirt cheap, and then the Mole Pistols, they're like $3.70 each. So you're going to need at least 2 of those, maybe even more. But yeah, I think 2 is a good number for this. And then everything else is going to be an OP12 card. I'm sure these hockey cards are going to be dirt cheap because they're all like rare, uncommon, and commons. So what's the rarity of this deck? So it's just the Boa and then this Luffy that are SRs from the new set. Which, yeah, I doubt they'll cost too much at all either. Especially if you're buying the set on release or even like the same week or month of. The market's going to be flooded with all these SRs, so you can pick it up at that time. It's not until like a couple sets later, like this Sanji didn't used to be $5. It used to be a lot cheaper, but it's gone up in price, right? Since OP10 has become less available. So just FYI, the timing on when you buy these cards matter. But yeah, overall, $58 to have everything else ready for this deck doesn't seem too bad at all, right? And with that out of the way, let's take a look at the next leader. It's green, right? So Zoro, yes, it is Zoro. Okay, so 165 to build out Zoro ahead of time, actually not too cheap at all. But it's only a couple cards that make up the bulk of this price, right? As we see, like a majority of the cards are from OP12. The Hyordi and the Perona Searchers, the Koshiro Blockers, these are all, well, the Perona's SR, but is this the only SR one-drop Searcher? It might be, now that I think about it. The Koza Buro, also going to be really cheap. What's the expensive card? So it's the Tashigis. Tashigis are about $5 each from OP10. The Cavendishes, of course, are going to be expensive. He used to be a lot more expensive, but I think they did reveal that he's going to get reprinted in PRB02. So now he's like, what's 121 divided by 4? Like $30 each? No, that sounds about the same as always. You can take a look at TCG Player. Okay, so he went from like almost 50 to 30. Mr. 2 like crashed like crazy, but I guess Cavendish is still keeping his value pretty high. And then Hoodies are like $10 each. You're gonna want at least 2, maybe 3. Might as well have a full play set, but $10 is quite a lot, right? So yeah, I guess you could get away with 2. Paradise Waterfall is a dirt cheap card. Everything else is OP12, so it's mainly like these 3 cards here. So that is Zoro for ya. Zoro is gonna be a top meta deck. So is Rayleigh. So I think these 2 leaders, at least investing into them, are completely worth it. But one is like what, 3 times more expensive than the other. So yeah, it's up to you to prioritize where your money goes. And then we'll take a look at the next leader here. Okay, Blue Kuzan. To build out to Blue Kuzan early, you just need $16.83. And that's because everything that you need for the deck is like a searcher, right? Okay, well, just Tashigi Searcher, Maynard Blocker from OP05. Puddings are like, it's a meta card, but it's insanely dirt cheap, so that's good. It's a rare. Sabos are dirt cheap, and then Tsuru's just a 2k, Orlando 2k. Red Rocks and Raging Tigers are also really cheap. So yeah, this might be the cheapest. I would say Kuzan is like borderline meta. He's almost meta, right? So it's definitely a strong deck. I think most of the leaders from OP12 are pretty strong, so this might be the cheapest one if you want to get like a competitive but not like top meta deck. In terms of the cards you need from OP12 though, so this is a common, this is a rare, SR, uncommon, rare. Oh, so literally the only SR is going to be this Garp. So I can't imagine this deck costing any more than like $25. Yeah, even this event's a common. So yeah, very, very cheap Navy deck. But in terms of meta viability, way less than the Zoro and the Rayleigh. So do keep that in mind. But as like a second deck that you could always have, like let's say you have a friend that you want to play with and they don't have cards of their own, just give them cheapo Kuzan deck. It'll do well enough. Okay, up next we have Blue Purple Sanji. $48 to build them out early. I don't see anything too crazy in the deck. Oh, the Uso Hachis are quite pricey, but we'll take a look. So Kayas are cheap. No worries about that. The Uso Hachis are like $9 a pop, like $9.80. These Sanjis from OP12. This is a rare though. Reiju's an SR. This Reiju is actually pretty good, so we'll have to see. And maybe waifu tax too. But I can't imagine her being too expensive because she's only really usable in this deck. And then Sanji 2k are like $7. That's about it. Everything else is cheap. Like Jozu's under $2 to get 3 of these. Gungam Rain also cheap, like $1 each. Gungam Giant for a full playset's less than $1. And then the Searcher event from OP11 is not usable in any deck besides this one, I think. So yeah, it's like 60 cents for a full playset. Jet Culverin and then 2 Red Rocks. And everything else is from OP12. Beef Burst is just a rare, but this is like literally the best event in this deck, so we're glad to get it so cheaply. Any other SRs? No, rare, uncommon, the Pudding's a rare. So it's just a Reiju. So another really cheap deck, but I think it's hard to beat that Kuzan's price point. We did see Sanji do pretty well in one of the championship series, so I would say Sanji is about on the same level as Kuzan. as far as the data that I have to base off my analysis on. I haven't actually got a chance to play with any of these myself. Besides, I played some Rayleigh games and some Zoro games, but that's about it. So yeah, take that with a grain of salt, but I'm just going based off of tournament performance that I remember off the top of my head. Up next is Rosinante, purple yellow Rosinante. I believe this is the least viable of the new OP12 leaders, but it's $40 to build this out early. Just if you really like Rosinante as a character, or Law even for that matter, I think this is a deck for you, right? If you're gonna collect these cards anyway, at least you can make it into a deck now, because yeah, you run like literally every Trafalgar Law card, right? You have the Searcher, 4 of these, and then 1 Chopper for $1.41, 4 Beppos, 4 Extracts from OP10. These are all really cheap cards. 4 of the Searcher Law, which is an SR, but it's like dirt cheap because no one runs this card. Even like Red Purple Law, who was supposed to run this card, didn't run it in the end. This Promo Law, actually I don't know how we're gonna get this. This actually might be an expensive card, just because as far as I know, they haven't announced how they're gonna release these Promo Laws, but it's staple in this deck. It's staple in maybe Piss Kid too. So yeah, just be wary of that. But I'm sure even without this deck might still function, I hope. And then the ST10 Law, full play sets under $2. And then this Promo Law, I don't know how we're gonna get this one either, but this one's essential for this particular deck. Yeah, I don't know, it's just that it's running 2 promo cards, so these are always like kind of like surprise factors. We don't really know until the method that they're gonna be released is revealed, right? If it's like a way that you can get it easily, it's going to be cheap, but if it's like some obscure event that you have to attend to get it, then yeah, you'll know that the price of it's going to adjust accordingly. And then we have a uncommon law, and then an SR law, common law, uncommon law. Isn't that kind of like, it's like when you own a house and if you're married or not, or like how you're married? I don't know, it just reminded me of that for some reason in the moment. Okay, so yeah, this, and then the not SR, secret rare law. These would be the highest rarity cards in the deck. These are like $10 each, so not too bad. Might as well buy a full play set while you're at it. And then Room is dirt cheap. Oh my god is $4 for 1, but they only run 1. And then Gamma Knife to round off the events here. And then everything else is from OP12. So this one, yeah, I think is a little risky. It just depends on these 2 promo laws. And then even at the end of the day, it's not a top meta or even like a off meta borderline deck, right? It's kind of a for fun deck for now. So I would say only invest in this deck if you really like Trafalgar Law or Rosinante as a character, but Rosinante is only literally the leader and then like this Searcher. So this is more of a Law deck. And then the last of the OP12 leaders is Koala, which is kind of competing with Kuzan for the cheapest. And I do think it's because most of the cards are from OP12. Yeah, we see 4 of the Zeus, so they're like under $3 for full playset. Rebecca is $11.60 for full playset. And then 2 ACOS Katakudis are like $6 each. Oh my god, I remember this guy used to cost like $80. Now he's like dirt cheap. Literally every single thing else in this deck will be probably cards that you get from like your bulk from your booster boxes of OP12. So we do see this Robin is an SR. This is actually a really good Robin card. I can see her being used in many decks, so the price of this card may not actually be too low. Also waifu, and also like main character waifu. Robin is a really popular character. I like Robin, so maybe I'm biased. This Kuma is the secret rare for this set. I'm not entirely sure how OP this guy is, just because none of the top decks in OP12 are yellow, so they don't really utilize Kuma too well. But I do think the decks that can run him need him, right? It's Koala, who else? Enel could probably run really well. Maybe Kalgara? We'll look at Kalgara later, because I'm curious about him too. But every single thing else is like uncommon, rare, common, rare. It's from OP12. Oh, and then the Dragon's SR, but I believe only usable in a Koala deck, and Koala is nowhere near the top meta, so I can't imagine this guy going to be too expensive at all. And then 2 events here that you can run for the deck. So yeah, how much was Kuzan again? Like under 20, right? Yeah, Kuzan cheaper than Koala, but if you have 2 friends that want to play One Piece and you want to play your own like Zoro deck and you want to give them a deck to play, one of them gets Kuzan, one of them gets Koala. Hehe. Okay, and then we'll start looking at leaders that get buff from OP12. So I think Green Yellow Law does get a decent buff, right? We get like the slash attribute searchers and slash attribute like KO preventers. So to pre-build out Law, which is basically the entire deck actually, it's $209. right? I think the additions to Green Yellow Law aren't gonna make this deck any more expensive than it already is. It's just this Perona here, and then the Koshido. Yeah, it's probably quicker to look at what isn't already in the deck. And then people are running 2 of the Dead Man's Game. This is like literally one of the best green events that are going to be released, so we're glad it's a rare, right? It's not going to be crazy expensive. I think usually like really useful events, as we saw, like Oh My God was like $4 max, so this is going to be like heavily in print for a while, and then later on it might go up to $4, but I would assume on release like $1 max. And yeah, as we mentioned, the most expensive card is Cavendish. We saw this guy earlier in the other deck that can run Cavendish. It's just like one of the best cards in green, especially because a lot of the meta green leaders are supernovas, so we get access to Cavendish. I guess this Kid and Killer is not inexpensive. It's about like $3 each from the starter deck. And yeah, you need 4 of the Secret Laws. You do need it in this deck. I think at some point people are running less of it, but I think, well, I personally like running it as a 4-up, so $10 each for these. Everything else is inexpensive. It's just you're gonna add like 2 uncommons, 4 SRs, and then 2 rares here to the deck. And then what else? What are the leaders? I think Zoro and Sanji has been doing pretty well recently. It's always been popular in the East. It just finally got some good results in a championship series recently, so it catapulted into even more popularity than it was before. Right, because it benefits from a lot of the slash support from OP12 as well. So to pre-build out this deck, it's $116. I would never expect the day where this deck costed this much, but yeah, a lot of the staples in the deck are pretty old and kind of out of print now. Like this Mihawk, I can see right away this stood out to me. 4 of these is $34. As far as I know, the only deck that you could get this from, or any like product you can get this from, is from starter deck 12 itself, which may be hard to come around these days. These VVs are pretty new, but they're like $5 each, so that's good. EB02 has been retaining some value now, last time I checked. And then of course the Tashigis are staple in every green deck, and then 3 Hodis, like $10 each. The smokers are cheap though, they're like $2. Everything else in the deck is dirt cheap. So yeah, all you really need from OP12 is the Kozaburo 2K. That's searchable because it is East Blue and it is a slash attribute. And then Koshido to protect all your slash attribute characters, right? They run the Weevil to attack a second time, Zoro to attack a second time, Arlong, they're all slash, even this Cavendish. I would make a case that Mihawk maybe not needed, but I don't think I can. I think Mihawk is like mandatory for this deck. It's from his starter deck, right? Starter deck 12 is the leader. So yeah, it just provides too much value for you, right? Because you can cheat out a second body and then bounce the Mihawk back to your hand to pay for your leader ability. So it's kind of a non-negotiable. Even the leader itself is $3. So that goes to show you how rare it is to find starter deck 12 in the wild these days. So I'm glad I have 2. Wait, do I? I have to check my stash. And then lastly, I do think I want to look at Kalgara. So Kalgara, insanely dirt cheap. He did get some support in OP12. So the rest of the deck is $16. This is cheaper than Kuzan actually, but we haven't seen Kalgara do too well in the East. Maybe the West can pick up the slack and put in some results for this guy. But yeah, for the whole deck, insanely cheap. What we get from OP12 is this Kalgara character. So it provides us another way to heal with the Nolan. Because Nolan before, we just had to use the vanilla. Now we have like a Kalgara that actually does something. Then we can play a turn earlier. What else? This Wiper 2K vanilla. It's not the worst thing. It's searchable, and we can play it out with our leader ability on our 6th on turn. It runs 2 of the Kumas, which we don't know the price of. It is the secret rare again. I just noticed it's a yellow card, but then it's a strike attribute, so it's kind of hard to see. And then the power and the cost is yellow too. Everything's really yellow. But yeah, this Kuma provides this deck with some survivability. I think everything else is pretty standard. Right, yeah, these are all the cards that Kalgara used to run anyway. Plus Zeus. Zeus is new. So yeah, another cheap deck for your 4th friend that you bring along, right? People hang out in 4s. So you'll play the top meta Zoro deck. You'll give Kalgara, Kuzan, and Koala to your 3 other friends. You're that guy. I know you are. Don't try to lie. Don't try to hide it. I can suss it out. I smell it from you guys. Okay, so the most expensive card in the deck is, funnily enough, not a Sky Island type card. It's this Ace from starter deck 13. They're $5 each. I'm guessing since starter deck 13 came out so close to starter deck 12, it's just hard to find these days. But yeah, a really inexpensive deck that I personally like. I've always liked Kalgara decks. It looks like maybe this isn't enough for him to become meta. I think there's an event too, isn't there? This list doesn't run it, but hold on, let me look it up real quick. OP12 and yellow. Yeah, the bell will always ring for you is a top 5 draw 2 or search for 2 event for the deck. Huh, but this guy doesn't run it. I don't know. I would try it out just because I want to try out the new cards. And this isn't a competitive deck anyway, unless they make it competitive. Oh, this is another 2K Sky Island Vanilla. Whoa, baby 5. So cute. Okay, so yeah. That's the video for you guys today. These are the cards that you're going to need to build out all these OP12 decks. Literally everything else in the meta, I doubt barely gets anything new. So yeah, if you already have those decks built out, you probably will not need to buy any more new cards. At least from what I can tell and what I can recall. If I missed that leader, let me know. I could maybe do a part 2. If I miss enough, I doubt it. But you know, who knows. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know if this video helped you get prepared for OP12. Rayleigh is cheap enough and meta enough that I think I might just build this deck out. Have it always in my back pocket. So let me know what you guys are trying to build out. And then I'm working on getting alt arts into the deck builder too. So once I have that, we could look at that too. The most blinged out deck, maybe. If you want to have something to waste your money on, we could maybe take a look at that. But that's for a future video. That's going to be it for now. So yeah, check out my other videos. If you're new to the channel, I do a variety of content. I do gameplay, analysis like this. Yeah, just a bunch of different things. So probably you will find something that's for you there. And then if you're not already subscribed and you're a returning viewer, please do consider subscribing. That lets me know that you guys like the videos, and then you guys won't miss when I don't know, have something really cool. And then yeah, I guess I'll catch you guys next time when I fully convert to OP12. Oh, yeah, what do you guys think? Should I switch to OP12, or are you guys still wanting to see OP11 content? Let me know in regards to that too. And that'll be it for now. Okay, bye.
Card Kaizoku.